I'd like to share with you a story about myself that I'm not particularly proud of, but it teaches a good lesson. It also might be the most important story that I tell you this entire week. I was traveling, like I do, constantly out on the road, like living out of a suitcase, airport food, diet sodas, no exercise, and I could feel the weight creeping up on my waist. So I made a plan, cut the junk food, hit the gym every day, the whole 9 yards. And for a few days, I was on fire, eating clean, crushing workouts, like feeling like a rock star. And then one morning, a breakfast meeting ran a little bit too long. By the time it ended, I was starving. So I just grabbed a muffin from the coffee shop. I'll make it up later, I thought. Then lunch came, another marathon meeting, and nothing but pizza and sodas to eat. So I caved. Now that night, driving home, that voice started to kick in. You're such a failure. You can't even stick to a simple diet plan for one lousy week. And you're a coach. You're such a hypocrite. You know that voice? You're supposed to know this stuff. What's the point? So I pulled into the nearest Krispy Kreme. The light was on. Ordered a dozen glazed donuts. And I ate myself into a sugar coma. This really happened. That voice, I call it the hiss of the dragon. And it's the silent trap I told you about yesterday. Keeps us from even starting. The one that keeps the best leaders from ever starting, because the voice is already up there. Today, I'm going to show you what it actually is and why it seems to have so much power. And more importantly, how you can take that power back. 7 minutes, one truth, one execution move. If you're a leader who's tired of repeating yourself, saying the same things over and over again, tired of agreement without execution, and just burned out, carrying the emotional weight of everyone else's performance, you're in the right place. I'm Chris Hunsicker. This is the Dealership War Room. This isn't motivation. This isn't theory. This is a daily leadership briefing for people who actually have to produce the results in the arena, at work, and at home. You're in the war room now, so let's get after it. Now, let's name what happened to me in that car. It wasn't just a lack of discipline. It wasn't laziness, and it wasn't perfectionism. And here's what most people don't understand about perfectionism. It's not a high standard. It's the lowest standard you can set because it's unattainable. You can never get there. Perfectionism is not striving to be your best. It's the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, act perfect, then we can avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. It's a shield. That's what perfectionism really is. I want you to think about that. Perfectionism isn't a badge of honor. It's a shield. And like any shield, weighs you down. It limits your movement and it cuts you off from the very things that you need to thrive, your creativity, your connection, and the courage to start before you're ready, to just dive in and start moving forward. Here's where this shows up in your store and on your teams every single day. Your new service advisor makes a mistake on an RO. It happens. Instead of correcting and moving on, they spiral. I'm not cut out for this. I can't do this. That's the hiss of the dragon. Your new F&I manager has one bad week and suddenly they're questioning whether they even belong in the box at all. Can they even do this? That's the hiss. You have a conversation with your GM or your owner and it doesn't go that well. Didn't kind of follow the plan that you set out. And that voice starts whispering, you're a fraud. It's only a matter of time before everyone else sees right through you. That's the hiss. And here's what makes it so dangerous. That dragon doesn't roar, it hisses. It's quiet, it's subtle, and it feeds two fears that every human being carries for the rest of their lives. The fear of not being enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and the fear of not being loved because you're not enough. Those two fears drive more decisions in your dealership than any comp plan ever will. So how do you fight that dragon that hisses instead of roars? You don't fight it. You replace it. And here's the shift. Stop setting outcome goals and start falling in love with process goals. An outcome goal says, I need to hit 200 units this month. And if you hit 190, the dragon hisses, you failed, you missed it again. A process goal says, I'm gonna have 5 quality coaching sessions with my team every week. I'm gonna touch base with each salesperson on my team. And if you have 4 one week and 6 the next week, you're still winning because you're showing up for the process. Think about a marathon runner. If all they focus on is finishing in under 4 hours, you can tell how slow I am, Race day becomes a pass-fail test. The weather might be brutal. They may hit that 20-mile wall and just really be struggling. One bad variable, and the whole thing feels like a failure. But if they fall in love with the daily ritual, lacing up your shoes, hitting the pavement, pushing a little faster each week, running some sprints, then every single run is a victory. Here's the line I want you to burn in your head. Process goals keep you in the game. Outcome goals give the dragon something to judge. You're a fraud. Here's today's execution move. I call this the dragon check. The next time you hear that quiet voice, the one that says, you're not enough, you already blew it. What's the point? I want you to do these 3 things. First, name it. Say to yourself, that's the hiss. Just naming it takes half its power away. That's the hiss. Second, ask yourself this question. Am I chasing perfection or progress? If the answer is perfection, you found the trap. Get out. Third, replace outcome with a process. Instead of, I need to fix this entire department, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to move this forward? One conversation, one decision, one imperfect step forward. But here's the truth that almost all elite leaders live by. Every imperfect step forward is a victory over the dragon. And the leaders who keep showing up, messy, imperfect, but still moving forward, they're the ones who actually change things. They're the ones who consistently produce outcomes. This concept, replacing perfectionism with process, is one of the most personal chapters in my book, Unstoppable You. Yes, and I also include the Krispy Kreme story. Because the book isn't about being a flawless leader. It's about being a real one, but an effective one. And if this resonates with you, go to chrishunsicker.com. Download a free chapter of my book, Unstoppable You. And if you know a leader who's paralyzed right now, just stuck in that trap, not because they lack ability, because they're afraid. They're afraid to start imperfectly. They're afraid to mess up. Send them this episode. That hiss they're healing, it's not the truth. It's the dragon. And today, they learned how to name it. And you learned how to tame it. Because elite leaders don't wait until they're ready. They start before they're perfect. They name the hiss, they choose process over perfection, and then they just keep showing up and taking action. One beautiful, imperfect step at a time. That's the kind of leader that you're becoming. And tomorrow, I'm going to hand you one of the most beautiful reframes that ever existed. One that turns every hard thing on your calendar, every difficult thing that you've got, into something that you choose. So today, let's go out, create some leadership fire in your store, and I'll see you tomorrow in the Dealership War Room.